Over the years, every team has built up a nice city base, and that includes Delhi Daredevils. A lot of their matches go full. It's not quite the most passionate crowd, but they always get enough people coming in. The only team that really hasn't said, "This is my team," is Kings 11. They started off very well in 2008, and then suddenly under George Bailey, and that was here when Maxwell Miller, everyone's doing well. They got to the final. Saha played very well for them, but 15, 16, 17, again, they're gone. What is their home base? Is their home base Mohali? Well, this year they're only playing 3 or 4 games in Mohali. They're going to go back to Indore. And so they've been a slightly nomadic side, but also a side, you look at Kings 11 and say, who are Kings 11? You know who CSK is, you know who RCB is, you know who MI is, you know who KKR is. And so Kings 11 have just sort of tended to make up the numbers in the last few seasons. And the good news for Kings 11 fans, wherever you are, is that this is the best selected Kings 11 side, I do believe, in that they've picked a good, solid Indian core, Indian batting core, which is always very important. They've got Mayank Agarwal, Karun Nair, Lokesh Rahul, Yuvraj Singh. They've even got backup in Manoj Tiwari, a backup keeper in Akshdeep Nath in case it doesn't work with KL Rahul. They've got a decent Indian bowling core, not quite top of the pops, but they've got Ankit Rajput, Barinder Sran, they've got Mohit Sharma, and they've got a new captain. I think that's going to be the talking point. How do Sehwag and Ravichandran Ashwin gel? But in Ashwin, they've got a really ambitious, innovative kind of cricketer as their captain. So that's another box ticked. They've got a very interesting young overseas spinner in Mujibur Rahman. He's only 16, 17 years old, but he bowls everything. Their only issue, I think, is going to be managing their overseas players, and they don't have a decent replacement for Andrew Tye. If something goes wrong with Andrew Tye, then they've got to fill their side with Indian bowlers, and I don't think they're quite at the same level as Tye. And then they've got to figure out what to do with the likes of Gale, Miller and Finch, because they can't play all of those. They're going to miss Finch at the start, so that makes selection a little more convenient, if not better. But they really have got to figure out, they've got these two giant personalities in the side, in Chris Gale and Yuvraj Singh, and there might be stages in the tournament when Ashwin might have to look at either of them or both of them and say, you know what, I don't know how I'm going to fit you in the side. So there's just these couple of issues around the major stars, but let's go down and take a look at Kings 11's first 11. Do you play Chris Gale? I'm afraid my answer is going to be no, because I think Miller down the order is far more valuable to the side. Chris Gale has been a bit of a hit and miss. They only picked him right at the end. I think Mayank Agarwal is far too good form to leave him out. And I think Karun Nair, ever since he started opening the batting for Karnataka, has been excellent too. Rahul is your wicket keeper. I really do think it requires a long run at number 3. And in the absence of Finch at the start, I think Yuvraj Singh will come in at number 4. And if I was Yuvraj, I'd use those first 3-4 games to tell the captain, the management, look, you can't play without me. So Yuvraj, have your eyes wide open on Yuvraj in those first 3-4 games. I think he's batting at 4, Miller at 5. You have to play Marcus Stoinis, because otherwise Kings 11 don't have a bridge between the top 5 and the bottom 5. Marcus Stoinis plays that role. He's a fearsome finisher, and he routinely gives you 2 or 3 overs. So that's my top 6. I've already got I've got 2 overseas players in there. Then I've got Ashwin and Akshar Patel as my 2 spinners. I've got Barinder Sran and Andrew Tye, and that leaves me with 1 overseas player. And I'm very, very interested in taking a look at Mujibur Rahman, because he bowls off spin, he bowls leg spin, he bowls a wrong run, and I think could just be that little X factor that Kings 11 Punjab need. Right, what do we have as backup? I did mention not a lot of backup for Tye, but you got Ben Dwarshuis, who's been around the fringes of the Australian side, plays for the Sydney Sixers, is a decent bowler, so he could be a backup for Andrew Tye. What happens when Finch comes back? Does Finch straight away come in place of Miller? If you want to play both Finch and Miller and Stoinis and really pack your side with big hitters, then you've got to play another Indian fast bowler in place of the spinner who I so like, Mujibur Rahman. But I'm going to start off with this as my first 11, the 11 I gave you at the start, and then we'll see what happens depending on the first 3 or 4 games till Aaron Finch comes back. My key player for Kings 11 is Andrew Tye, because I really rate him as a death overs bowler. Those bowlers are worth their weight in gold, as Mumbai Indians discovered with Malinga. So my key player in this side is actually Andrew Tye, and the players to watch out for, I've got 2. I've got Yuvraj Singh, because I've always enjoyed watching Yuvraj Singh. I want to see if he's got a sting in his tail towards the end of his career. And Ravichandran Ashwin, both as a bowler. I'm sure Ashwin wants to show everybody that you've got all these wrist spinners, you've got young Washington Sundar, but watch out for Ravichandran Ashwin, and also as captain. So I'm going to be looking very closely at Ravichandran Ashwin as well.